We are still working with place value, and I am still on page 2 of the textbook. But we have some more notes to make. So let's turn the page. And this is a notes page, so let's draw our lines in the shape of that off-center eye. So we're going to do one up here, one down here, just leave some space, and then one right down through here. Okay, and we're going to call this, let me think. Let's call this one place value, or let's call this forms of numbers. Because we are going to talk about those. And let's go ahead and get those while we're thinking about that. For right now, there are 3 forms that you need to know. There is, and these are in your textbook, there's word form, expanded form, and standard form. So let's do word form. And rather than have you write a big long definition, let's just do it this way. Let's do 2000. So in my mind, I'm seeing 2 of those big red blocks, comma, 900 65. So in my mind's eye, I'm seeing 2 of those big red blocks, 9 of those blue blocks, 6 of those 10 rods, and 5 of those yellow blocks. 2,965. And that's called word form. So just to help your eye, I'm going to turn this into the next color. Word form gives me standard form. Actually, I'm sorry. I want to go to expanded form next because I think that'll be easier for you to see. I'm sorry about that. You can just cross it out. Don't start over. It's okay. So expanded form would look like this. 2,965. And then we need to put some plus signs in there because if we were counting up all those little blocks, we would be adding them together. And then finally, the form that you use most in math is called standard form. And standard form is the number. So you would have 2,965. So those are the 3 forms for now. There is another one that you'll learn about another day. It's called scientific form. But for right now, let's just practice with those. And you see that those are the same set of things that are on your textbook. They used 845. So let's do that one in our notes just so that we can see another example. So go ahead, if you need to pause the video, it's fine. I'm going to give you word form. And actually, I'll do it this way. Okay. So word form is 800. So I'm picturing 8 of those blue blocks. 40-5. That's word form. Expanded form would be 8 of the blue ones, 4 of the 10s, and 5 of the yellows. And we need to add those together. It will always be adding together there. And then standard form, which is the form that you use to do math problems, would be 8, 4, 5. 845. And let me do one more. Let me just make up one. Let's do word form, expanded form, and standard form. And I'm going to give you standard form this time. We're going to work backwards from standard form. So what if I gave you 8, 0, 0, 2. That's standard form. So picture in your mind what this would look like. 8,000, that would be 8 of those red ones, those big chunky blocks. So I'm going to say that would be 8 of the 1,000 blocks. We don't have any hundreds, no blue ones, no green ones, but we have 2 of those yellow ones that are just single units. So this would be 8,000, comma, 2. 8,002. And I'm actually going to build this one for you. Let me come back over here and grab this 1,000 block. Now I will have to shrink it a little bit to get it to build. And you can skip this part if you don't want to sit through it. I totally get that. Gonna put it right here and I'm going to resize it. So we need 1 of those. And let me just copy that one. Oops, I hit something weird. Okay, there's 2. And we'll do a shortcut here. I'll copy that one. Probably would be easier just to do it one at a time, but we'll see. There's 4. Oops. And then I need to get to 8, so I'm going to copy this group of 4 one more time. So there are 8 thousands. And then I need the 2s. I need the singles. So I'm going to copy this fella right here. And bring him to the next page. We didn't have any 10s. We didn't have any hundreds. We just have 2 of these. So I've got 1 of them. I need to paste the second one and we'll have it. So here's the picture representation of 8,002. If I wanted to count all those little blocks, I could, but it would take forever to do that. It's much easier to count the units and then build my numbers. All right, if we were in a classroom, I would stop right here and ask if you have any questions. But since I cannot do that, I will say this. If you have questions, I want you to talk with your teacher, okay? The person who put you in touch with these videos can help you with your questions. Call him or her and let them know that you need a little bit of extra help. All right, I have one more thing to show you, and then we will be ready to start in the workbook or the textbook. I want to show you a place value table or chart. Because unfortunately, we can't walk around all the time with these blocks. When we're learning it, it's great. But when we need to actually do math problems, you don't want to have to rely on those blocks. So one thing that can help you, especially as you're learning this, is a place value table. So I want you to draw this with me, and you can pause the video if you need to. Not sure how that's going to go. That's why I have these dots so that I can draw a little more easily. But you can definitely pause your video if you want to get a ruler, or you can just sketch it. It does not have to be perfect. So let's make a row across here, and then I want to do 4 columns. So I'm just going to hope that I have enough here. I'll erase what I don't need. By nature, just the way I think, I want things lined up well, but I also know how important that is in a math class. So you will see me take the time usually to draw things correctly, because in some mathematics that is critical. All right, so here, actually, I am going to do something else here. I'm going to go ahead and make one more of my columns and erase that part, because there's something I really need to make sure you know, and it has to do with that comma. And I think just to really emphasize it, I'm going to take out this line. I know you can't, if you're using pen, you can't erase. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my comma right here. A comma looks like that, and it's used in math to separate sections of numbers, and I'm going to leave it right there for now. But this is called a comma, not a coma. It's C-O-M-M-A, a comma. All right, so here is our ones place. Here is our tens place. This is our hundreds place. And this is our thousands place. Now, I don't want you to think that this is all there is. There are numbers on this side of 1,000, and you can put a decimal point, and then there are numbers on this side. But for right now, we're just looking at this section of the graph, or of the table. So I'm going to bring this down here. Actually, let me copy it because it'll mess up my problem. This is the one that goes in this section right here. So let's drop him right in there. We know that these singles, I've got one of those I can bring down here. Again, I'm not going to take it away from that one because that would mess up that picture. So there is the single. And then let's get a 10 and a 100. There's a 10. If you were in the classroom with me, I would let you have some of these blocks to work with. If you have access to the classroom, let the teacher at school know that you want to look at these. And you can actually do this so that you can see how these feel and look. That one needs to be a little smaller because I've got him in there with those. Okay, so there's the ones place, the tens place, and then I need one of those blue ones. Excuse me. It has been raining for a very long time, and for some reason, that's making me cough. It's cold and rainy. It's almost Halloween. And if it keeps this up, it'll be a good Halloween night. All right, so here's a visual of your place value table. What I want you to notice, think with me, as you move to the left, do the units get bigger or smaller? As you move to the left, they get bigger. You will always have that comma between the thousands and the hundreds. Okay? Comma will always come after thousand. All right, so how can this help me with my forms? Let's just go ahead and add, I think, another row to this table. So just come down here with me, and I don't know why I keep thinking I can do that. Let's do this. Let's just add on another row to the bottom of our table. So we'll need to add the columns. And I'm going to put some numbers in here. I'm going to use a 7, a 5, a 5, a 3, and a 9. And there's the comma. So which form would this be? 7,539. That's going to be standard form. Okay. From there, I want to do expanded form. So expanded form would be 7,000 plus 500, 5 of the blue ones, plus 3 tens, or 30, plus 9 of the singles. So there's expanded form. And then word form, I absolutely hated in school. They made me write these things, and I don't like words anyway. But honestly, it was one of the best things they ever made me do. So I have 7,000. Be careful with your spelling. Comma comes after 1,000. 5 of the 100 units, or the 100 blocks. 3 of the 10 rods, no comma there, not after 100. 3 of the tens would be 30, and then a hyphen with the 9. 7,539. And that is how you read a place value table. So let's review the things that we need to remember from this page. First of all, there are 3 forms of numbers. And proper English says that you spell out words smaller than 100. So I write out the word 3. There are 3 forms of numbers. And without looking, can you remember those? There's standard, expanded. Expanded form has a lot of zeros. And the one I hate is word. There's actually another one, but we'll talk about that another time. You will always use a comma. Where? Use a comma after thousand. You could also say between thousand and hundred. And a place value table, we won't write this, but just so you remember, that's called a place value table. And we'll be seeing that when we get into the textbook. So now you have a lot of knowledge about place value and hopefully some valuable visual images in your mind. We also looked at how to spell things. You learned the definition of a digit and of a unit. And you have learned the first 4 of the places in place value. So you've learned a lot in just 2 pages. Now we will apply this knowledge to our textbook.